সংবিধান অনুযায়ী হবে। বাংলাদেশের জনগণ শেখ হাসিনা ছাড়া নির্বাচন কাউকে মেনে নেবে না। নির্বাচনে আসবে, এটাই একটা সুযোগ। এটা হারালে খেলায় হেরে যাবে। নির্বাচনে যদি না আসে খেলায় হেরে যাবে, হারার আগে হেরে যাবে।
President of Dhaka City North Awami League, Sheikh Bazlur Rahman, presided over the meeting, which was also addressed by Joint General Secretary of Awami League, Mahbubul Alam Hanif, Organizing Secretaries S.M. Kamal Hussain and Mirza Azam, General Secretary of Dhaka City North Awami League, S.M. Mannan Kochi, and General Secretary of Jubo League, Moinul Hussain Khan Nikhil, among others. Information and Broadcasting Minister and Awami League Joint General Secretary Dr. Hassan Mahmood has said BNP is now like an old car whose battery is down. He also said there is no reason for BNP to be happy about the US visa policy. Dr. Hassan Mahmood made these comments at a peace rally at Jatrabadi in the capital today. Dhaka South City Awami League organized the rally protesting BNP Jamaat's anti-election anarchy. Deputy Leader of the Parliament, Begum Motia Chaudhary, spoke at the rally as chief guest. She called upon everyone to work unitedly to accelerate the leadership of Sheikh Hasina to continue the development journey of the country. Dhaka South City Awami League Acting President Nurul Amin Ruhul MP chaired the rally, which was also addressed by Awami League Presidium member Dr. Abdur Razak. Abdur Rahman, Mufazzal Hussain Chaudhary Maya, Shahjahan Khan and Dr. Mustafa Jalal Mohiuddin, Organizing Secretary Advocate Afzal Hussain, Member of the Parliament Qazi Monirul Islam Monu and Dhaka South City Awami League General Secretary Humayun Kabir. Referring to the US visa policy, the Information and Broadcasting Minister said it is up to the US to grant visas and to whom it will not. Awami League doesn't care about it. The speakers said there will be no gain in anti-national conspiracy as the election will be held on time according to the Constitution.
বিএনপি তাদের দল যেহেতু পুরনো গাড়ির মতো বসে গেছে, সেই জন্য ব্যাটারি যাতে ডাউন না হয় সেই কারণে নানা কর্মসূচি দিয়ে যাচ্ছে। কিন্তু পুরনো গাড়ি যেমন যতই স্টার্ট দেন, ব্যাটারি যতই চার্জ দেন, কদ্দুর গিয়ে হঠাৎ বন্ধ হয়ে যায়, বিএনপিও কয়েকদিন পরে হঠাৎ বন্ধ হয়ে যাবে পুরনো গাড়ির মতো। আন্দোলনকে তারা সামনের দিকে এগিয়ে যেতে পারবে না। ভিসা নীতি নিয়ে নানা কথাবার্তা পত্রপত্রিকায়, সাংবাদিক বন্ধুরা পত্রপত্রিকায় নানা কথাবার্তা, বিএনপিও নানা কথাবার্তা বলে। অত পুলকিত হওয়ার কোনো কারণ নেই। লিস্টের মধ্যে বিরোধী দলের নেতাদের নামও আছে, সুতরাং পুলকিত হওয়ার কোনো কারণ নেই। কারণ নির্বাচনে যারা বাধা দিবে তারাই এই ভিসা নীতির আওতায় পড়বে।
Meanwhile, Information and Broadcasting Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood joined the premiere show of government-funded film Dushahoshi Khoka, directed by Mushfiqur Rahman Gulzar at the Film Archive Auditorium this evening. The Information and Broadcasting Minister said the new generation will know more about Bangabandhu's adolescence by watching the film Dushahoshi Khoka.
কিভাবে একজন দুরন্ত কিশোর রাজনীতি সচেতন হলেন, প্রতিবাদী হলেন, কিভাবে তিনি জনদরদী ছিলেন, এই বিষয়গুলোকে এখানে তুলে আনা হয়েছে। বঙ্গবন্ধুকে নিয়ে প্রকৃতপক্ষে এখন অনেক সিনেমা হচ্ছে, কিন্তু বঙ্গবন্ধুর শৈশব থেকে কৈশোর নিয়ে আলাদাভাবে সিনেমা আমার জানা মতে কোনোটা হয়নি, এটি প্রথম। যে বঙ্গবন্ধুর শৈশব এবং কৈশোর নিয়ে তেমন লেখালেখিও খুব বেশি যে হয়েছে তা নয়। তো সেজন্য এই সিনেমাটা আমি মনে করি বঙ্গবন্ধুর শৈশব এবং কৈশোরকে চিত্রায়িত করা হয়েছে কিভাবে বঙ্গবন্ধু একজন দেশপ্রেমিক কিশোর থেকে একই সাথে তিনি প্রতিবাদী কিশোর, একই সাথে মানবিক কিশোর, তিনি কিভাবে ছিলেন এই বিষয়গুলো এখানে উঠে এসেছে।
Dr. Hassan Mahmood also replied to questions from journalists about the implementation of the US visa policy on the media.
আমাদের গণমাধ্যম স্বাধীন অবাধে কাজ করছে, শুধু স্বাধীনভাবে কাজ করছে না, আমাদের গণমাধ্যম যে পরিমাণ ভাইব্রেন্ট এই দেশে, অনেক উন্নয়নশীল দেশে এরকম ভাইব্রেন্ট গণমাধ্যম নাই। সুতরাং গণমাধ্যমের উপর ভিসা নীতি প্রয়োগ এই কথাটা শুনে সত্যিকার অর্থে আমি আশ্চর্য হয়েছি। আমি মনে করি কারো অন্য দেশের গণমাধ্যম নিয়ন্ত্রণ করা সমীচীন নয়, অন্য কোনো দেশ আমাদের গণমাধ্যমকে নিয়ন্ত্রণ করা সমীচীন নয়।
Japan is keen to provide necessary cooperation and to invest in blue economy of Bangladesh, especially in fisheries sector. Japanese ambassador to Bangladesh, Iwama Kiminori, expressed his country's interest when he paid a courtesy call on Fisheries and Livestock Minister SM Rizal Karim at the Secretariat today. During the meeting, they discussed various issues of bilateral interest, including expansion of trade and commerce, Japanese investment in major development projects of Bangladesh, and areas of cooperation between the two countries in the field of fisheries and livestock. The minister informed the Japanese ambassador that there is a huge opportunity for Japanese investors to invest in diversification of fisheries and animal products and setting up processing industries in Bangladesh. And now international news. U.S. Justice Department has indicted high-ranking Senator Bob Menendez, a familiar name in Bangladesh, for allegedly accepting hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes, according to reports of leading international news outlets. Federal prosecutors charged the powerful U.S. Senator on Friday, saying the Justice Department found gold bars and hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash at his house. Prosecutors said they also gathered evidences that Menendez had provided sensitive information to the Egyptian government to help an Egyptian-American businessman protect his monopoly. Menendez became a familiar name in Bangladesh 3 years ago when the ranking Democrat member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, along with several of his colleagues, urged the Trump administration to impose sanctions against the country. 69-year-old Menendez, along with several of his colleagues representing both the Republicans and Democrats in 2020, called on the then Trump administration to impose sanctions on senior commanders of Rapid Action Battalion RAB for carrying out alleged extrajudicial killings. According to BBC, Menendez and his wife vehemently denied the charges, but Reuters reported Menendez later stepped down temporarily from his role as chairman of the Senate's Foreign Relations Committee until the case is resolved. But AFP said calls for his resignation even came from fellow Democrats, with New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy saying the charges were deeply disturbing. The BBC report said the pair each faced 3 criminal counts: conspiracy to commit bribery, conspiracy to commit honest services fraud, and conspiracy to commit extortion under color of official right. The indictment comes after a year-long Justice Department investigation, the BBC reported. The U.S. Senate's Foreign Relations Committee records suggest the bipartisan letter addressed to the then Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Secretary of the Treasury Stephen Mnuchin. The senators urged the administration to impose targeted sanctions on senior RAB commanders under applicable authorities. CNN TV channel said the New Jersey Democratic senator was charged with corruption-related offenses for the second time in 10 years. President Emmanuel Macron has said France will withdraw its ambassador and end all military cooperation with Niger following a coup. The military junta, which seized power in Niger in July, welcomed the move. The junta said in a statement quoted by AFP news agency that this Sunday we celebrate a new step towards the sovereignty of Niger. There are about 1,500 French soldiers in the landlocked West African country. The decision by Paris follows months of animosity and protests against the French presence in the country, with regular demonstrations in the capital Niamey. The move deals a hammer blow to France's operations against Islamist militants in the wider Sahel region and Paris's influence there. Mr. Macron said he is still regarded ousted Niger President Mohamed Bazoum, currently held prisoner by the coup leaders, as the country's sole legitimate authority and had informed him of his decision. He described the deposed president as a hostage. The Philippines has accused China of installing a floating barrier to stop fishing boats from entering a disputed area in the South China Sea. The Philippines Coast Guard said the 300-meter obstacle was preventing fishermen from working in a lagoon in the Scarborough Shoal. China claims more than 90% of the South China Sea and seized the shoal in 2012. Commodore J. Terriella of the Philippines Coast Guard said the barrier was discovered by a patrol on Friday. 3 Chinese Coast Guard boats and a Chinese Maritime Militia service boat installed the barrier when the Philippine vessel arrived, he said. The Chinese boats issued 15 radio challenges and accused the Philippine ship and fishermen of violating international and China's laws before moving away upon realizing the presence of media personnel on board the Filipino vessel, he said. China's embassy in Manila did not immediately reply to a request for comment, Reuters said. CMDR Terriella of the Philippine Coast Guard said Filipino fishermen say China typically installs such barriers when they monitor a large number of fishermen in the area. Now some other international news in brief. A Russian drone and missile strike near Odessa damaged infrastructure, a grain silo and an abandoned hotel in the Black Sea port city as attacks elsewhere in Ukraine killed 5 civilians and wounded 13, Ukrainian officials said today. Cuba's embassy in Washington was attacked by a man using 2 Molotov cocktails on Sunday night. The country's foreign minister said, describing the incident as a terrorist attack. Chances of India's moon lander waking up after a freezing cold lunar night are dimming with each passing hour, said space scientists from the country. An asteroid sample collected by NASA has touched down on Earth, giving scientists the opportunity to learn more about the origins of the solar system and capturing a piece of a massive space rock. Back to home news. The pressure of vehicles on the airport road in the capital is increasing day by day. Traffic congestion is a common reality at Mohakali, Shoini Club and Kakoli areas. People remain stuck in traffic congestions hours after hours between the Army Stadium and Mohakali. Sometimes overseas-bound passengers miss flights being stuck in traffic congestions on the airport road. Passengers and drivers say the situation deteriorates due to a U-turn in front of Chairman Bari. They say a U-loop can help in this case. Police say the road between Shoini Club and Mohakali is narrow that causes traffic congestions. Besides, the U-turn is another cause in this case. Experts say the airport road has to be widened alongside proper traffic management to ensure smooth movements of vehicles. There is no symptom of improvement in the dengue situation across the country, as over 2,000 have been infected and 19 died during the last 24 hours. A press release of the Directorate General of Health Services said among the dead 9 were in Dhaka and 10 were outside Dhaka. 3,033 dengue patients were admitted to different hospitals across the country during the last 24 hours. Among them, 801 dengue patients were hospitalized in Dhaka city and 2,232 patients outside Dhaka. Meanwhile, no one died of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. The country reported 9 COVID-19 positive cases as 717 tested in the last 24 hours. Corona infection rate was reported at 1.26%. And now, weather. Met Office in its weather forecast till 6 p.m. tomorrow said light to moderate rain or thunder showers accompanied by temporary gusty wind is likely to occur at many places over Rangpur and Mymensingh divisions, at a few places over Rajshahi, Dhaka, Chattogram and Sylhet divisions, and at 1 or 2 places over Khulna and Borishal divisions. Besides, moderately heavy to heavy falls are likely to occur at places over the country. Day and night temperature may rise slightly over the country, said the Met Office. Now, news on sports. Bangladesh will take on New Zealand in the third and final ODI of the 3-match series tomorrow. The match will start at 2 p.m. at the Sher-e-Bangla National Cricket Stadium in Mirpur. Earlier, the first match was abandoned due to rain. Bangladesh lost the second match by 86 runs. Bangladesh beat Pakistan by 5 wickets to win the bronze medal in the women's category of the Asian Games cricket in Hangzhou, China today. This is Bangladesh's first medal in these ongoing games. Bangladesh won the toss and invited Pakistan women to bat first at the Zhejiang University of Technology cricket ground. Pakistani women cricketers were suppressed by the girls of Bangladesh at the beginning of the match. The Tigresses took 3 wickets for just 10 runs. However, the Pakistani girls scored 64 runs for 9 wickets in the stipulated 20 overs. Shorna Akhtar took 3 wickets and Sanjida Akhtar took 2 wickets. Marufa Akhtar, Nahida Akhtar and Rabia Khan took 1 wicket each for Bangladesh. In reply, Bangladesh women's cricket team scored 65 runs for 5 wickets in 18 overs, 2 balls. Shorna Akhtar scored an unbeaten 14 runs for the team. Shamima Sultana and Shathi Rani scored 13 runs each. To end the bulletin headlines once again. Chattogram-Cox's Bazar Highway is having 4 bridges which will connect it to international road network. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina will inaugurate it next month. Awami League gives BNP an ultimatum of 36 days to stop practicing ill-motivated politics. There will be no election without Sheikh Hasina, says Ubaidul Qadir. BNP is now like an old car whose battery has been damaged. BNP has nothing to be excited with US visa policy, says Dr. Hassan Mahmood. US Justice Department indicts high-ranking Senator Bob Menendez for allegedly accepting bribes. French President Emmanuel Macron announces to withdraw ambassador and troops from Niger. And Bangladesh will face New Zealand in the last match of 3-match ODI series tomorrow. Tigers determined to gear up through showing their potentials. And here we end the news. Thank you for being with us. Khuda Hafiz.